gang, it's Pruitt of the Robertson Pruitt team, Defiance Daily Show podcast, broadcast live every Friday, 11 a.m. Central. Just wanted to bring a quick Defiance minute to you. For those of y'all that follow me, you know how I feel about public education, state-funded universities and colleges. For those of you that don't, listen to the podcast, tune into a couple of these shorts, and follow me on any of your social media platforms. Y'all know that I love Riley Gaines. I highly respect her. I highly respect what she's doing. I think she's a patriot. I think she's incredibly brave. I think she's literally doing the Lord's work. Literally. I truly believe that. I think she is a classy lady, and I thank God for Riley. Whenever I think about it, I say a quick prayer for protection. She has lots of enemies. I hope you are too, and I hope you respect the fact that she fights the fight. She's in the battle. With that being said, one of the things I'm seeing in these blue states that are still allowing men, and by the way, thank you, Riley. Thank you for, I think Riley was one of the first adopters to this, but thank you for all of those that speak on this subject matter. I'm very rarely now hearing the term biological men. Thank God. That made me sick to my stomach. They're males. They're men. I call them males because technically they're not men. These are males. They're not biological males. They're males. They're males. Let's not cede the language to the communists. Thank you. That was just a little rabbit trail back to my initial thought. One of the things that crosses my mind whenever I see an incident of a male in high school sports or any sort of college, collegiate, what have you, the thought that races through my mind, that just charges through my mind, that courses through my veins is, where are the fathers? Where are the dads? Where are the dads? I got news for you. And you real men, and I know we're rare. We are extremely rare. You masculine warrior Christian men. First of all, I get it. You would never put your daughter in a public school or send them to a college or university. I get it. So it probably answers my own question. Because if a real masculine father was ever in attendance of a sporting event, an entertainment event, an event of any kind, where his daughter was in a bathroom, a ladies' room, or a ladies' locker room, and a male, not a man, men don't do this, males do this. Specifically, effeminate males, weak males, post-pubescent boys are what most of them are. They were raised by strong, independent women who were raised as strong, independent girls who raise sweet boys and strong, independent girls. The cycle just gets repeated over and over and over. And what we end up with are a bunch of effeminate or homosexual or males or post-pubescent boys. That's what we end up with. These are the ones that want to chop their wieners off or go into ladies' locker rooms. Anyway, where are the men? Where are the men, the fathers? A man would raise his daughter, first of all, she would have a lot of awareness. She would know what's going on around her because her masculine warrior Christian father wouldn't raise a strong, independent woman, but they do raise a girl because of the society we live in. They raise their girls to be aware, not let their guard down, to be aware. Number two, if his daughter, we're talking about a strong, masculine, Christian warrior man, a real man, if his daughter was ever in a woman's locker room or a bathroom or what have you, and a male entered into that facility, she would immediately be on the phone with her strong, masculine, Christian warrior father. Dad, help me. There is a man in the locker room. Do you know what that strong, masculine, warrior, Christian man, the father, you know what he would instantly do? I promise you, the male that had entered into that bathroom or locker room would have a very, very bad day. Very bad day. The father on the other end of that phone, while his daughter was on the phone, would go something like this. Baby, tell your friends to cover up. I'm going to be in there in 30 seconds. And it would have been over. That's what a real masculine, warrior, Christian father would have done. And this is why guys like us won't put our daughters in public school or colleges and universities, is for not just that reason that some male will end up in a locker room with them, but it's also because we know what we have to do as a masculine man, and we're not interested in going to prison. We're not stupid. We actually think ahead. We think tactically. We think strategically. We think about personal protection, because the number one and number two most important traits that a man has is protection of their family and provision for their family. So that's what a real man thinks about and plans for. So they're very careful about not letting their wife or their children, especially their daughters, get into situations that present a danger. Because I, as a man, am going to eliminate the danger, which then puts me in a situation of possibly going to jail or prison, and it's understood. So we think ahead. That's why I think the reason why we are not seeing fathers going into these bathrooms or watching these males win races that their daughters should have won or placed higher in, we're not seeing any masculine warrior men defending their daughters. Obviously, there's always exceptions to rule. I'm not saying that there are no masculine fathers out there that don't allow. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, where are the fathers? And I haven't seen one yet step up. So I think what has happened is a large percentage, and you also got to remember, there are not very many real masculine warrior Christian fathers out there. There's just not, extremely rare. There's just not very many. It makes up less than 1% of the male population. Less than 1%. So there ain't very many. But I think that most of those guys, because they understand their role as a protector, they're not going to serve their little daughters up on a platter to the government to be indoctrinated or to be run through by a bunch of chads at spring break and different. A real masculine warrior father is not going to put his daughter in that situation. He's simply not going to do it. And that's why we haven't seen incidents at these public events, whether it's, most of the time it's sporting events where we hear about it, where we don't see a father, a real father, a masculine father going in, grabbing up one of these vile, satanic, twisted males that thinks they're a girl and setting them straight. We'll just say that, setting them straight. So anyway, that's just thoughts from the trail, a quick Defiance minute here with Mark Pruitt. Come check out our show with Travis Roberts. It's the Defiance Daily Podcast every Friday at 11 a.m. with Roberts and Pruitt, live on Rumble. God bless you guys. Have a great day.